right, welcome to Rules Confirmation and Public Elections. Today is November 21st. It is 5:15, and we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a quorum with myself, Councilmember Cash, Councilmember Druffel, Councilmember Evans, Vice Chair Prepty, and Councilmember Toombs. So we have a long agenda. We're going to go through it as efficiently as possible. So please, committee members, if you have questions, please wait to be called on so we could finish on time. We have no one that's signed up for public comment, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm going to start with the resolutions. Then we're going to skip to the very end for the appointments that are being done by the administration and the vice mayor, and then we'll go back up to the ones that are being appointed by the council. Okay, so first up, I do have a consent. 2 items on the consent agenda. If they need to be pulled off, please let me know. If someone can go find Councilmember, well, Suara, it's on consent, it'll be fine. First is RS 2023-122 by Councilmember Suara, honors the 30th year anniversary of the Metropolitan Interdenominational Church for a First Response Center Clinic and recognizing the outstanding service of Reverend Edwin C. Sanders II to the Nashville community. And the second item is RS 2023-123 by Councilmember Stiles, honors the 25th anniversary of the Nashville Black Chamber of Commerce. Do any of those two need to be pulled from consent? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. All right, next, we're gonna skip all the way to the back. We're gonna start with the beer permit board. So item 8. So first up will be William Conway. Is Mr. If you want to come and sit here. Do you need a parking validation?
No, I don't.
Okay. So beer permit board, reappointment of Mr. William Conway for a term expiring on October 31st, 2027. Mr. Conway, thank you so much for being here. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions besides the one you're being reappointed to?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll see if we have any questions for you.
I've been in Nashville since 2008, born and raised in Knoxville. I'm a criminal defense attorney, solo practitioner. Office is right over there in Washington Square. I've been on the beer board since 2019. I was appointed first by Mayor Briley, reappointed by Mayor Cooper, and then up for a nominee today. And enjoy my time on the beer board, other than when it interferes with the elections, the early voting over there at Howard office, and you can't get a parking spot. But other than that, you know, I do enjoy the hearings. I bring a little bit of a different aspect, just given my attorney background, even though the levels of proof and evidence are different. But you know, I think I do bring some value to the board.
Great, thank you so much. Are there any questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much. Up next is beer permit board reappointment of Ms. Carolyn Perry for a term expiring on October 31st, 2027. Ms. Perry, thank you so much for being here. Do you need a parking validation?
I do not.
Okay. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions besides the one you're being reappointed to?
I do not.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll see if we have any questions for you.
Sure. So I've been in Nashville since about 2015. I'm currently an attorney, a litigator specifically at Holland & Knight, formerly Walden, then Deutsch & Davis. I came in on the heels of Chris Bellamy. Chris Bellamy served on the board, and he actually rolled off. And so I served out the latter part of his term. Very similar to Mr. Conway. I think being an attorney, I bring a certain level of experience and insight, particularly since I am a litigator that deals on the civil side. I deal with administrative appeals, so understanding the process generally, I think, has been able to kind of inform my time on the board.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. Any questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, up next is Beer Permit Board reappointment of Miss Bailey Spalding for a term expiring on October 31st, 2027. Hi, thank you so much for being here. Do you need a parking validation? All right. Do you currently live in Davidson County? Do you serve on any other boards and commissions besides the one you're being reappointed?
I do not.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve on this board.
Yeah, I've lived in Nashville since 2006. I went to Vanderbilt Law School, so you kind of have 3 lawyers, except for that I then started Jacobo Brewing Company. So I actually work in the beer industry. So I, like my friends, have a unique perspective on the board, and I really enjoy working with everyone. I think it's a really interesting thing to get to do. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Any question from committee members? All right. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much. All right, next is the Metropolitan Historical Commission, reappointment of Mr. John Bridges for a term expiring on August 1st, 2027. Is Mr. Bridges here? Can someone check and see if he's in the hallway?
Is there a Mr. Bridges out here?
He's at the bathroom. He'll be right back.
All right. We'll skip him for now. Now we all know. So does the audience that's watching from home. All right.
He's gonna have to walk in.
I know, walk of shame. All right. So we'll go ahead and skip to the next person. Metropolitan Historical Commission, reappointment of Dr. Erica Hayden for a term expiring on August 1st, 2027. Hello, Dr. Hayden. Do you need a parking validation?
Yes, I do.
Thank you so much for being here. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes.
Do you serve on any boards and commissions? Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve on this board.
I moved to Nashville in 2007 to do my graduate degree in history at Vanderbilt University, and I now currently teach at Trevecca Nazarene University in the history program. I'm interested in U.S. history, and I have a passion for protecting historic places, and so I'm looking forward to serving on this commission to bring some of my academic perspective into the public sector.
And as a disclosure, my Dr. Hayden was my professor at Trevecca. So,
What kind of grades you get?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that.
We really did just fine.
It worked out. Yeah.
You go.
C's get degrees, right?
Yeah. It worked out. It worked out. Well, thank you so much for being here. Are there any questions from? Yeah.
I have a
All
question. So there's been several stories in local papers about the Historic Commission and the power that you all hold. Do you have a perspective about any of the, I guess, challenges that people are having with the Historic Commission lately and your role as a commissioner?
Are you thinking about the Historic Zoning Commission?
Yes, I am. Thank you for,
think
thank
she's-
you. I appreciate that. Never mind.
There's no questions. Any other questions from committee members? All right. Well, can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you. Next. Oh.
That turned easier than you thought.
Yeah.
She appreciates that, eh?
Mr. Bridges has arrived. All right, Mr. Bridges, do you want to come up?
C's get degrees because I also know, I've experienced that remark, C's get degrees.
Thank you so much for being here. Do you need a parking validation?
Yeah, I do. Okay, great. Thank you.
So thank you for being here. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yeah,
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions besides the one you're being reappointed
Nope.
to? All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve again on this board.
okay. Well, I was with the Tennessee in the 80s. I co-started the scene, when I was in the Purcell administration. So I kind of know my way around town. But I have a sense, but I love the history of our city. And it's been great being on the Historic Commission, because I get to serve on the Historic Markers Commission, it's just the best thing. You get, I think I know a lot about the city, but every month, people come up with these things that are so interesting. Some months we'll have, 4 or 5 of them, but one of them will be about a school and its history with desegregation, or about the music industry, or about something in Belle Meade, something in Green Hills, something in Hermitage. It's just great. It's just great. I love doing it, so that's why I do it.
Well, I'm glad you like it so much that you want to come back, so.
Well, yeah, well, I'm happy to, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Are there any questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next is the Metropolitan Historical Commission reappointment of Mr. E. Thompson Wood for a term expiring on August 1st, 2027. Is Mr. Wood here? Is Mr. Wood outside?
Is there a Mr. Wood out here? He's coming.
Where was he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do need him.
Yeah, I know. You must be an old guy like me.
He's in the lunchroom.
He's in the lunchroom.
Uh-oh.
All right. Hi, Mr. Wood.
Hi.
Do you need a parking validation?
Yes, I do.
You wanna? All right.
Does that work?
Yeah, you just give them both.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for being here. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions besides the one you're being reappointed to?
I serve.
Metro
Only
board.
I serve on the Tennessee Holocaust Commission, but no other metro.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to serve?
Sure. I have, my friend since 8th grade, David Briley, appointed me in 2018 to finish out a term of somebody who had a medical issue. And I've been on since then, except for the last month or two. I had a long career as a journalist with most of the various print outlets in town. And recently finished up, this year finished 10 plus years as a staff writer for a global law firm that's got its back office based here, Pillsbury and Winthrop. And am semi-retired now, working on 3 different book projects. And have written a lot about Nashville history over the years. John Edgerton and I produced the multi-author book, Nashville, An American Self-Portrait, back in 2001.
Alright. Is that one of the books you're working on right now? I see all this stuff there.
Oh, this is the source material for what I didn't know how long I might be becalmed here. So.
Got it. Okay, well, thank you so much for being
Definitely
here.
study your books, that's for sure.
Well, it's all about guarding the Panama Canal, and the guy I'm writing about, was the Nashville-born general in charge of protecting it from the Germans and Japanese.
That's awesome. Are there any questions from committee members?
What's the name of the book?
This book, or
Yes, yeah.
Guarding the Crossroads.
Anyone else? All right. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right, now we're going back up. All right. We did have a late item. Is Councilmember Suara here yet?
She's in the garage.
Okay. We'll come back to that then. All right, Health and Educational Facilities Board election to fill 2 vacancies for a term expiring September 30, 2029. First one up is Sonia Dubs. I think she was sick. Is that still correct? Is she still not here? All right, can someone check the hallway real quick just to,
Who's that?
Sonia Dubs.
Sonia out here?
Tanya?
I don't think
All right.
she's coming.
So she is not coming.
Sonia Dobbs?
Yeah.
She's withdrawing. She's withdrawing, yeah.
She's withdrawn. Okay. All right. Next is Jeffrey Shaheen.
Sheehan.
Sheehan. See? Sheehan. All right. Nominated.
hard.
Yeah. Nominated by Councilmember Cash. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.
Do you need a parking validation?
love one.
All right. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other metro boards and commissions?
No, some nonprofits, but no other metro boards.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve on the board, and then I'll go to Councilmember Cash if you want to say anything about your nominee.
Sure, thank you. And I want to thank Councilmember Cash for nominating me and other council members for talking to me about this board. I was very excited with the last election about the idea of making Nashville a place that's just a little bit easier to live in. And as I went through and started looking at where was a place that I could volunteer, I discovered this magical board that deals with healthcare, and it deals with education, and it deals with housing. And that's a place that my family has had a lot of passion. As my kids were younger, I was on the PTO for their elementary school. As they've gotten into middle school, I've really appreciated the way that being just a little bit more supportive for the schools makes such a difference. My wife has been in healthcare in different areas. We've been near Meharry, we've lived in that neighborhood, we've been out in Bellevue, and we've been now in Hillsborough Village. And seeing the way that just a little bit of extra infrastructure, just a little bit of help around the better housing can make such a difference, this board appealed to me. I've spent some time on the board of Tennessee Justice for Our Neighbors, looking at how to make Nashville a little bit more fair, a little bit more accessible for folks that have some barriers that I don't have. I've spent some time at Belmont United Methodist, really looking at the way that the Methodist organizations in town have looked at housing and trying to work with the developing that space and being good partners together with the public. And so as someone who is a lawyer, like apparently everyone else, it was a place where, as I was looking at it as someone who was not the lawyer for anybody involved in this process, to be able to step in and ask those kind of critical questions, look at I'm a litigator who deals with contracts and construction after it becomes a problem, so to be able to be in on the front end and ask those questions and really make sure that the public interest was being served in these projects, and the projects that had a chance of being really great and giving us just that extra nudge of making this a little bit more Ville and a little less Vegas was something that appealed to me.
All right, thank you so much, Councilmember Cash.
Jeff's a great guy. I've worked with him in a number of different ways. He was a great PTO chair at Aiken Elementary, and where his kids and my kids both went to school. He's a great neighborhood guy, smart lawyer. He and I we usually agree, but don't always agree on everything. But Jeff's great at being lending an eye and heart to those who underprivileged or those who may not be as connected in Metro.
Great, thank you, Councilmember. Any questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That was your last committee meeting.
On the brain.
Any opposed? No. Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
very much.
We're gonna go back to Councilmember Suara real quick. She had a late filed amendment. Late filed resolution by Suara, Vogt, Coopin, and others referred to a resolution urging the mayor of the Metropolitan government to pursue all options to ensure that the preservation of the Morris Memorial Building, including using the building to house a museum dedicated to African American and civil rights history. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
All right, Councilmember Swan. Why was your?
Why was it late? Well, have you seen the news? So the resolution was actually prepared for it to be presented at the second meeting in October.
Okay.
The goal at the time was basically to bring the new CM up to date
Yeah.
from what we did last term. But when we started working on it, Ms. Eichling suggested, and rightfully so, that we need to meet with the mayor and have a conversation with him before we start urging him and see where he stands. And so the goal was to meet with him and then submit the resolution. So I did meet with him last Friday, but in the middle of all of that, there's a third party that's come into the picture, and now there's a need to not waste time and do whatever we need to do. So that was why it's late file, so that we can get on it, let the mayor get on it, and we need to do what we need to do with no excuses and just make it happen.
And we cannot wait for the next meeting for it to
We
be.
cannot, because the third party contract, my understanding is that is up December 15. And that just leave a couple of days right after the next meeting. And so in order for us to get the mayor to start moving, and also for everybody to stay up to date, not everybody was there last term when we were discussing this. I think it's good to bring everyone up to speed and to get everybody's support as we move ahead with it.
All right. Any questions from committee members? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you, Councilmember.
Thank you.
All right, going back. Lisa Hammond, nominated by Councilmember Parker, and this is also for the Health and Education Facility Board. Is Ms. Hammond here? Yes. Hi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any board commissions?
I do not.
All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve on this board, and then I'll go back to Councilmember Parker if he's here.
So, again, my name is Lisa Hammonds, and I am a native Nashvilleian, which makes me a unicorn, I understand. I was born and raised here until I was small, moved away. I have been back since 1988 when I attended Middle Tennessee State, Vanderbilt Divinity School, and I'm currently enrolled in Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary, working toward my doctorate of ministry. And so I think my leadership skills, both in banking and my pastoral experience, most recently pastoring St. John AME Church, which is the oldest AME church in the state of Tennessee, which was heavily damaged in the March 2020 tornadoes, ultimately demolished. And we are now revisioning what a building looks like to come back. Not just another church in Nashville on another corner, but that it actually serves the community, that it might serve as not only a resource for council meetings and a venue and anchor space for perhaps medical or dental needs, but also people needing workspace. But also some affordable housing aspects to it, because we understand that 37208 is a very special zip code in the city of Nashville for a number of reasons, not all good. It is a food apartheid. It is in desperate need of affordable housing. And when St. John comes back, we want to definitely address some of those concerns. And so I think that those skill set, that revisioning, my leadership skills align with the function of the Health and Educational Facilities Board. And I'm very appreciative to Councilperson Sean Parker for nominating me to sit on that board. And so I think that as we look forward to the residents of Nashville and what it looks like as it pertains to health, education, facilities, developers coming with multi-family unit developments, that a voice like mine is necessary to be at the table. And I'm honored to have been able to be nominated, and I would be proud to serve in that role.
Great, thank you, Reverend Hammonds.
Thank you.
And thank you for your willingness to serve. Are there any questions from committee members?
I do. I'm just curious, so with your experience, well, so housing affordability and sort of finance are intersectional. And you touched on your finance experience. Could you tell us a little bit more about like how that would be an asset for this specific appointment?
So really excited about St. John's advancements and what they're looking to do as far as establishing a CDC, a community development corporation, to be able to actually engage the community in what St. John does for the community and how we progress and how we move forward. With the use of the community, not so that we come in very arrogantly and say, this is how we're gonna fix you, right? But that we want to work with you to be able to be a resource for you, right? And so being able to do the CDC, be able to take that into consideration, and then be able to incorporate affordable housing, job prep. Our backyard backs up into the backyard of Robert Churchwell. And so some after-school programming, cooking school for job prep, those kind of situations definitely put us in position to be able to make a difference in that community and be able to have a ripple effect going forward. And so my experience in finance, banking, though a very long time ago, also means that I bring to the table an opportunity to say, is this a good deal for everybody involved? Is this just gonna make the rich richer and the poor poorer? How can we bring different voices to the table to make sure that it's a win-win situation for everybody? And so I'm very excited about not only being able to work within this board, but be able to see how this board interacts and collaborates with the other boards and commissions in Metro. Thank you.
Any other questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much, Reverend. All right, next is Jackson Sprayberry, nominated by Councilmember Cortez. Do you need a parking validation? Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Do you currently live in Davidson County? Do you serve on any other Metro boards? Great. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve on this board, and then I'll go to Councilmember Cortez.
My name is Jackson. I moved to Nashville in 2008 to go to school for undergrad. Moved after that to Memphis, worked in some schools there, taught U.S. government, and then moved back here in 2016 to help start Bowers High School over on Nolensville in southeast Nashville. The work that we do there is an intentionally diverse school, 60% students of color, 40% white, and about evenly split 33 for free lunch, reduced lunch, and then not qualified. In that work, what I've seen is the reality of what it means to provide supplemental services to families and the impact that it has on their academic trajectory and the wellness and kind of the overall prosperity and the way that they kind of explore pathways to opportunity. I also learned a lot about what it means to be proactive and admit the things that you don't know, and learn how to put yourself in situations where you're able to learn what you don't know so that you can better ask questions. And so when I think about the work on this particular board, I think what's important is that if you go back and look at the kind of the minutes and the agendas, it looks like we improve a lot, which means that we could probably drive up some of the demand for what's happening at the board to make sure that it's a more competitive process and that communities that are more historically underactualized or historically marginalized have access to these. I would want to make sure that we're going back and looking at who's been given funding, is it the same groups of people that are coming, what's the composition of the groups, what are we saying yes to in terms of supplemental funding or supplemental services that we're providing in these multifamily housing units, and make sure that we are being as strategic as possible as it relates to the types of things that are approved, that there's an intersection in a really meaningful way across health, education, and affordable housing and multifamily housing.
Great, thank you so much. Councilmember Cortez.
I'm a fan of Jackson. He's one of the sharpest minds in education I've ever come across. Watching him build an organization around the community's needs has been nothing short of gratifying, and watching him actively always try to put himself in someone else's shoes to see what they're going through, to see what they're experiencing, and to try to find a better solution for whatever problem he's working on. When he told me he was interested in this board, I couldn't have been more happy and more proud to put his name in. So just a big fan.
All right, thank you so much. Any questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much. Next is Tyler Brasher. Brasher? Brasher? What is it?
Pressure.
Brasher? Okay. For also Health and Education Facilities Board. Thank you so much for being here. Do you need a parking validation?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
So I'm on the Participatory Budgeting Steering Committee. I'm not sure if that would be considered a board or commission, but I'm prepared to resign from that if elected to this Health and Educational Facility Board.
I think you're good. I think they're almost done, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, work's mostly ran.
Yeah, and it's a special, yeah. All right, thank you so much for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve on this board?
Yeah, so once again, I'm Tyler Brasher. I grew up in Tennessee, a native Tennessean. Can't say that I'm a native Nashvilleian, although I have a daughter that is. She's 2. I have a wife, Kelsey. We live in Donaldson now in District 15, so we've lived there for 5 years. I grew up in West Tennessee, a couple of hours from here. I like to say about halfway between here and Memphis, so pretty much in the middle of nowhere, I guess that is to say. Went to school at UT Martin, got a degree in finance, minored in accounting, and I went back to my hometown to work for a company there that managed nursing homes, owned and operated nursing homes. I did staff accounting there, then did a little bit of treasury management and financial analysis and planning, I think was my final role there. 7 years ago, I got into the restructuring world, dealing with financially distressed healthcare entities, turning them around, making sure that they've got a negotiated plan with their creditors so that they can come through on the other side and preserve jobs, preserve value for the communities that they're within. So that's my healthcare experience on the financial advisory side, like I said. So on public education is very important to me. I have a vested interest now that I have a 2-year-old. I plan on putting her in the MNPS system. I want to see the MNPS system thrive, and any steps that I can take on this board to make that happen and make sure that our traditional public schools are well supported are going to be crucial to me. And of course, affordable housing is something that we all know that all Nashvilleians deserve an affordable place to live. If you're going to work here, you should be able to afford to live here. So hopefully through this board, I can make a difference on that aspect and make a dent on that. So.
Great, thank you so much for being here. And you were nominated by Councilmember Gregg, but I don't know if...
Am I allowed to be a surrogate?
Yep, go for it.
Since Councilmember Gregg's not here, Tyler and his family are very invested in Donaldson. I would say Donaldson, but it kind of extends beyond that into Hermitage. Gotten to know him through his work with the Donaldson Hermitage Neighborhood Alliance, and is very active in the community. And he's been a great asset to our area, and I'm definitely supportive of his candidacy for this role.
All right, any questions from committee members? No? Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much for being here. Now we move on to the Housing Trust Fund Commission. First up is Jim Schmidt, nominated by Councilmember Coopin. Hi. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
I do not.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve, and then I'll go to Councilmember Coopin. There you are. All right.
Well, I've lived in Nashville since 2007. I came up here to be the area executive for Regions Bank, which I did for the last 12 years of my 30-year career in banking and finance. Took an early retirement from that, failed at retirement after 10 months and went to work for a local accounting firm. I currently serve on the commission and served as the chair, I guess officially until about 3 days ago when my term ran out. Also right now I do serve as well on I'm on the board of directors of Citizens Savings Bank and Trust here in North Nashville. I care deeply about this community in so many different ways, and I see affordable housing as obviously as one of our biggest challenges. And it has It has great challenges in a lot of different ways, and I think what I've brought to the table during my term and now during my time I've been as chair is a view from a finance standpoint. And finance is so critical in being able to get this done. To me, it's the crux of the matter. It is a money issue. We either have to have enough money from folks to be able to pay rents or buy the properties, or we've got to have enough money put into properties to be able to lower rents and lower costs to folks. So I think with the Barnes Fund, we've done a very good job over the last 4 years in being better at that and being able to get in a very transparent way money out to nonprofit developers to be able to help achieve some goals. So that's been important. And the other thing I think we've done is by going and having an emphasis on lower dollar projects to be able to help build the pipeline of nonprofit developers. There are not enough. We need more, and we need to continue to encourage that. So that's something that we've been working on as well. So what I see is I see a job not complete yet, and a job that I'd like to see at least get further along. We won't solve it in 4 years, but at least we'll get further along.
Great, thank you so much. Councilmember Cooper?
Thank you, Chair. I met Jim as I was campaigning for this seat and met him as an engaged citizen, someone who cares about his community and about his city and the work that is being done. And then I found out about his role as chair of this board and had a number of people reach out to make sure that he was renominated. He's done great service and I support his continued service in this capacity.
Thank you, Councilmember. You said that there were still incomplete tasks or projects that you all wanted to come to do as a committee. What are those?
Well, I see that just as the overall problem, the overall issue of affordability. I mean, I'd like to see more nonprofit developers gain more experience to be able to take on larger and larger projects. Like I said, we don't have enough. The infrastructure to be able to among the nonprofit organizations out there to try to reach the demand that's out there is just, it's not there yet. We need to continue to do that.
So what is the solution to getting more nonprofit development?
Well, we need to keep that focus on that smaller end of the you know, we have different buckets as far as the size projects, the amount of money that we can use earmarked for certain size projects. We need to continue to keep that focus on that smaller size. And then we also need to make sure that those developers have opportunities to learn from other developers who've been involved already and who have experience. So that's part of it, is trying to facilitate that.
Any questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much. Up next for Housing Trust Fund Commission is Antone Christensen Galina.
Yes.
Do you need a parking validation?
Yep.
All right.
My bad. There you go.
Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes.
Do you serve on any other metro boards and commissions?
No.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve on this board.
So my name is Antone Christensen Galina. I've actually spoken probably to most of you in the past 2 years. You know me as the affordable housing guy. I've been part of the NOAA's Affordable Housing Task Force for 2 years, super involved with that, and worked with a bunch of local housing activists, and there's the Yes in My Backyard community. And also, I guess the more I've talked to people, the more I've learned. I've seen like pros and cons and how you have to be intelligent about where you put houses. My day job, I manage an analytics team for a cancer treatment company. So basically what that means is we crunch the numbers to try and figure out optimal drug regimens for people. And like I want to take that skill set from like analytics and leading and pushing data strategy to the Barnes Fund, because I believe we can do a better job about like maximizing the number of total units and making this a better city for developers to partner with.
Great, thank you so much. Any questions from committee members?
So I see here on your resume that you received your master's from the London School of Economics. Could you talk more about like how your educational background will be an asset for this specific appointment?
Yep. So I grew up mostly in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Went to University School of Nashville, commuted RTA every day. which was fun. Went to the University of Richmond for undergrad, and then went to the London School of Economics, where I spent 2 years. And it was really interesting because I was first, like, a lot of friends and people there. It's like affordable housing if we lose. Like, basically, young people can never afford a house. If you don't inherit a house, you're never gonna have a house. And I was exposed to a lot of economic theories about, especially this whole housing theory of everything. So if rent is high enough, it can completely destroy a society. And really seeing how economically all these, like housing and metro budgets, like if we don't fix affordable housing, or if council doesn't have a solution, then you have to pay more for teachers and police, and then you have a sort of death spiral with increases in taxes and decreases in quality of service. So it just brought to me the importance of, like, we need to fix this.
All right, thank you. Sorry, Councilmember Harrell.
Oh, my bad, yeah.
I went straight to questions instead of recognizing you.
No worries. So I met Galena in a leadership institute. He's very active as far as affordable housing, as he mentioned. You know, as he said, many council members already know him. Just, you know, his ideas, and when you say, hey, you know, I mean, I look at numbers. That's what I do. I'm a numbers person, and I want to use this data set or this skill set to improve or added benefit to this board. Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much. Any questions from the board? Yes.
I just wanted to add, Anton is a constituent of mine, and we've had some great conversations, and I know he cares a lot. And not only does he care a lot, but he has a lot of great ideas about affordable housing. He's a good guy.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, can I get a motion?
So.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, thank you so much. Now we move on to the Industrial Development Board. We're almost done. I say I'm gonna jinx us.
I was gonna say I've got 10 questions.
All right, Industrial Development Board, election to fill 3 vacancies for terms expiring September 19, 2029, and 1 vacancy for a term expiring August 23, 2027. First one up is Kenya Payne. All right, and you are nominated by Councilmember Gamble. Do you need a parking validation?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
I do not.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve.
Well, I was born and raised in Tennessee, originally from Memphis. I've been in Nashville my entire adult life. I attended Tennessee State University, 2-time graduate. I also have a second master's degree from the University of Southern California. I currently work for an education nonprofit, and I am a local realtor. So my background and experience in education, the nonprofit sector, also my community engagement, as well as my experience in industry knowledge around real estate, I think will be a great asset to the Industrial Development Board. We've heard a lot tonight about affordable housing, and I'm sure we all know and understand how that impacts every part of our economy. And one of the things that I'm hoping to contribute with my experience is bringing the knowledge about the housing market, as well as my knowledge about the impacts that all of that, the intersection of the housing and education has on our kids, and what they can do long term for our economy. So I am hoping to serve on this board to contribute my knowledge and skill sets in a meaningful way, so that we can not only attract new industry and talent to the city, but we can retain the talent that we have here.
All right, thank you so much. You're nominated by Councilmember Gamble. I don't know if anyone wants to speak in her stead, but I did meet you when you were going through one of the stand-up Nashville Board and Commission training, if that's correct. Am I mistaken on that? So I do want to thank you for being willing to serve. I do see on here that you have some experience in DEI, right? And as we have more projects that come before the city, and as we start talking about making sure that some of our forgotten neighborhoods are heard, and some of our communities are being spoken up for, right? How would you bring that experience to this committee?
I think it's making sure that we're being mindful of the voices that we're centering in the conversations, making sure that there are channels for us to have open conversation with the communities that we're serving as the city is continuing to grow and develop, so that they can feel a part of the change and folks aren't feeling like the growth of the city is happening to them. I want to make sure that I'm filling in the gap so we can all feel like we're doing this together.
Great. Any questions from committee members?
Not a question, just a statement. I've known Kenya for some time now, and in conversations that we've had, but in on your point of DEI is that there, specifically within North Nashville, that has been a community that's been disrupted by a lot of development, especially with redlining and with the development of our interstate system, and understanding how, exactly as Kenya said, that making sure that we're bringing along every single voice of our community, and that we are continuing to invest with these communities, not invest invest around our communities to ensure that everybody has a voice. And so just Kenya has a really robust understanding of the historical context of development within Nashville, but also ensuring that every single person throughout our community is heard, listened to, and under consideration.
Great, thank you so much. Any questions from committee members? Can I get a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next up is Charlie Rodriguez, nominated by myself. Do you need a parking ballot? No, you're good.
You get a lifetime pass?
You can run for office and then we'll see what happens.
I'm already thinking that.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes, council member.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
No, council member.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve.
Okay. Good evening, council members and the rest of y'all. So I want to serve because I've served before. I'm a 6-year veteran of the Air Force. I got to work with people from all walks of life. You name it, from different parts of this nation, from different parts of the world. So it's one of the things that I think would be really neat to see and work with others. I believe I bring a different perspective too as well to this board. I am a union representative. I work in organizing, political, and community. So I work with people in the community as well as organizations in the community. Sometimes I work with some of you guys, bringing issues to you, as well as working with the people who are building our city and building America. I just want to elevate their voices up here and be able to work in a team and bring something to the team as well.
Great, thank you so much. So it's my nominee. So when thinking about the projects that come before us and before the administration and what the future of the city is going to look like, some of the voices that are always forgotten are worker voices. You know, Nashville should work for the people that are building this city. We have a lot of wage theft that goes on. We have a lot of accidents that happen. We just had a death earlier in October, with someone who fell through the roof of one of our MMPS schools. And so when thinking of what kind of voices we need at the table, having worker, immigrants, minority voices, I think are very important. And I've gotten to know Charlie over this past year and have worked closely with him on not just legislation, but also on some of these cases, the latest one being Dennis Giovanni Vache, who was the worker that died. And we've sat together in the living rooms of friends and family, and I've learned a lot. And the thing is that we can't afford not to listen to what the worker needs are going forward, and so that's why I nominated Charlie. So I would really appreciate your support. So are there any questions from committee members?
I've got one. So, well, and this is for sort of everybody who we've spoken to this evening as well. One of the things that I think is also very important as far as representation on all of our boards is making sure that we have renter representation, because renters make up 50% of our city. And when we're talking about affordability, that's a huge segment that is important to discuss. So I guess my question for you, Mr. Rodriguez, is are you currently renting? Are you a homeowner? Sort of, how do you identify in that?
I'm a homeowner.
Okay.
Yes, I was renting, probably like about a block from here. When I first moved here, I wanted to get to know the city, and we were showing around, and it was astronomical. So it really hurt for that 1 year, but I got to know the city a little bit more. But I do feel with that, I rented for the majority of my life, and here was the highest it's ever been. I couldn't believe it. And you know, being on this board is we develop things for people. We don't just develop things for just a building just to sit there empty, right? We develop for consumers, so we must keep people in mind all the time.
And I'll say too, I'm an attorney here in town and I'm on council and I'm a renter as well. So I think that having that representation is crucially important, and so thank you for lending a voice to that.
I got a room for rent, you know.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, any other questions? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
All right, next up for also the IDB board is Joshua Hastings, nominated by Councilmember Cat. Hello. Do you need a parking validation? All right. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
No problem.
All right, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve.
Hello, everyone. I know a handful of you guys already. Thank you for your service. I want to serve because we need more of everything. We need more affordable housing. We need more help for our small businesses. We need daycare. We need health care. We need better infrastructure. We need sidewalks. We need sewer. We need everything, right? And right now, there's just not enough avenues in this city to get them done. So we need to figure out how we build better policy to get those done. When I previously served on the IDB beginning in February, we started looking at policies to do that. And I want to finish creating that plan where we can implement those policies, those best practices. With the help of Mark and LaTanya back there, we started looking at best practices across the country and in Tennessee. How can we implement those to help out our small businesses, to help bolster our affordable housing preservation and creation, to help bring more daycares, because that's a mortgage payment in and of itself. Healthcare, how do we get better access to that? We're trying to figure out those policies. So I want to serve on the committee so we can help get that done and bring it back to doing that. And then in my day job, I'm also an affordable housing developer where we work in 8 different states. I manage our Tennessee office, where in Nashville we have over 1,000 units. Across the country we've got 24,000 units. And we work with entities like the Health and Ed Board and the IDB, not the IDB in Nashville, but to implement affordable housing policies and as well as work with pilots, property payment in lieu of taxes. So I had experience doing that personally, implementing and developing affordable housing using tax-exempt bonds as well as property tax exemptions to make sure that we're bolstering the number of units across our city.
Great, thank you so much. And you were nominated by Councilmember Cat.
Yes, just briefly, thank you, Chair. Josh is a current member of the IDB, although a relatively new one, picking up a term that didn't get completed. I renominated him, though, because of his attention to the powers of the board and his interest in using those powers in ways to promote infrastructure, daycare specifically, and affordable housing. As an affordable housing professional, he's got granular familiarity with that policy toolkit and ways that the IDB can advance it. When it comes to things like childcare, transportation, and affordable housing, we as a city, in my view, are in an all-hands-on-deck situation. And I've very much appreciated Josh's attention to those issues and his development of the policy toolkit that is available to the IDB. And for that reason, I nominate him and stand beside him in this nomination and would appreciate your support.
Great, thank you so much, Councilmember. Any questions from committee members? Yes.
No question, but a statement. I do want to speak up in support of Joshua. Joshua cares deeply about the community, has been a very good community partner in my district. His knowledge of not just, developing projects, but the policy behind affordable housing and wanting to work diligently to expand it and make it available to as many people in the city as possible, I think makes him a great asset to the IDB board, and I would support him as well.
Great, thank you so much. Any other questions? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much. All right, we got 3 more. No, I lied. Yeah, we got 5 more. But we got 3 more on this. Next up is for IDB board as well is Latanya Channel, nominated by Councilmember Swara. Yeah. Excuse me. Thank you so much for being here. Do you need a parking validation? All right. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
No, on a committee, but not a tax abatement committee. That's not a board or commission.
That's a special council committee.
All right. Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve.
Sure. So I've kind of sort of hemi-demi served on the IDB in my prior role with Davidson County. Over the last year, I've attended every single meeting, but you never saw me on camera unless I was bringing in the agenda and the papers to support the board. But I would like to help continue the strategic planning process that I helped push them to start, to continue recognizing the powers that the IDB does have to serve our residents and to keep that momentum going.
Great. Thank you so much. Councilmember Swara, you nominated Ms. Channel.
Yes, and I came in right on time. Thank you for allowing me to speak, Madam Chair, though I'm not on the committee. When I look at the IDB needs the technological know-how. It also needs someone that has a passion for the people. It also needs the connection. That's all the things that Ms. Channel brings to the table. She's worked with the USDA. She was the Tennessee director for the Small Business Administration, where she worked with all 95 counties in the state of Tennessee. She also served as Mayor Cooper, executive director for economic development. And so she's worked with the federal government, the state government, even the local government, our mayor's office, and she's bringing all of that experience, her connections and everything to the board. Ms. Channon and I were on Leadership Tennessee together, and I see her work with everyone from across the state, and I see how people respect what she brings to the table. I also happened to be at a conference 2 weeks ago where she brought the SBA to come and talk to small businesses in Nashville. So I think she's a great asset. I think she'll be very great. She's worked with them before. She helped the IDB develop the strategic plan, so she can actually now help implement them. And so for that, I enthusiastically recommend her, and I hope that she has your support.
Thank you so much, Councilmember. Any questions?
Just a quick comment. I got a chance to work with Latanya for the last 9 months or so, and great intellect, great passion. I would highly endorse Latanya as a great person to work with, and could see her doing a fantastic job on this board.
All right. Any other questions?
Quick comment.
Yes.
Strongly support Ms. Channel for this board. We have so much focus as a city on the big deals, the big Oracle deals, whereas small businesses make up a majority of our economy, and there needs to be more of a focus on strengthening and bringing and developing small businesses in Nashville, and no one better than a small business expert than Ms. Channel, so I strongly urge everyone to support her.
Former Councilmember Haywood.
Yes. I'm here tonight not only to highly recommend and endorse this young lady. I worked with her in the mayor's office over the last year, side by side. We worked in the community side by side. I would also like to articulate that not only am I here to voice my opinion, I had several community members to ask me to come and lend their voice in terms of wanting her to represent them. So I'm here not only for myself, but for the community, because she speaks for those that feel like they have no voice and they've been left behind. And that's where, that's what is heart-wrenching for me.
Great, thank you so much. Any other questions? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up for the IDB board is Mark Wright, nominated by Councilmember Coopin and Welsh. You had 2 people nominated. Two, although one of them was Coopin, so.
I don't know. I feel a little special, I guess. I'll go ahead and take mine now. You don't have to tell me. I know.
All right, thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here.
Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes, I do.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
No, I don't.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve again.
All right. Okay. I'll try to make it short. I've been here since in Nashville since 1970. So I've been 54. Moved from Chicago when I was 1 year old in 1969. So I wasn't born here, but I was raised here. And 23 years of those of my life, I've been in District 19, Councilman Coopin's district. So I have seen, being in that zip code that you mentioned, Councilman, 37208, I have seen the change of the city. I have seen what has been needed, how business works with the community, the affordability issue. I've been right in the middle of it for 23 years. I'm currently executive director of a nonprofit, Be Up in Hand, in Nashville. Been doing that been a part of the board since 2000, resigned from the board in 2006 and became executive director. And we have been building all around the city, and our concentration has been in North Nashville. We have built over $10 million, actually preserved and built new affordable homes, over $10 million in North Nashville. So we understand what the city needs when it comes to affordability. I have a business background, been in business for 30 years in Nashville, so I understand how the business community has to work with the neighborhoods and the community as well. One thing that I think we really have to concentrate on the IDB, as mentioned before, is there are a lot of big projects, and there's a lot of nonprofits that get funding from the Barnes, MDHA, but they don't have an understanding, some don't have an understanding of how they can use a tax credit, TIF, tax increment financing, and use different tools to do more affordable housing. So I bring that expertise. I have expertise in community investment tax credits. We've done a lot of different projects throughout, like I say, throughout the city, using different types of funding, Barnes, MDHA, CITC from the banks. So we know how to leverage those packages and build affordable housing. I also want to continue what we have started as Joshua mission, and about the strategic plan. We have started making a lot of changes and a lot of things that's going to be great for the city, really including thinking about the citizens, thinking about the small businesses, thinking about affordable housing, things that will actually change and improve the city. So I only served 2 years because I took Ginger Hauser's place off when she resigned from the board. So I want to continue that process because I believe I have a lot to bring to the table in my experience, knowledge of Nashville, my background, development, engineering, being an executive director for over 10, 15 years, all that development and affordable housing. I think that expertise could be used for the IDB for the good. So I want to continue my service.
Great, thank you so much. And you were nominated by Councilmember Coopin and Welsh.
Well, so in addition to being on the IDB and a great community member, Mark was also my treasurer for my campaign. And when I wanted to figure out who I wanted my treasurer to be, I wanted it to be someone who represented community and commitment to our city, and not just one group, but all different kinds of groups. And I couldn't have thought of anyone better than Mark. Took a little arm twisting to get him to do it, but just a little bit. But Mark, like you said, is involved in the community, is involved in important things like affordable housing, small businesses, and just making sure that voices are heard through that process. And then, like he mentioned, there's a lot of work on the IDB being done currently, and so hoping to have him continue his service to continue that great work.
Great, thank you so much. Any questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, 6 in favor, 0 against. Thank you so much. Last one up for IDB. Andrew Eshelman. I like to point out that people have a hard time with my last name.
I've heard pretty much everything under the sun, so no worries.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
I do.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
No, ma'am.
All right, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve.
Yeah, thanks for having me tonight, and thanks for Jacob for nominating me. It's really a big honor. So I've been in Nashville, greater Nashville, for over 30 years. Grew up here before Nashville was cool. Don't hold it against me. I grew up in Williamson County, but I've lived in Davidson for almost 10 years. I know. But lived here in Davidson County for almost 10 years now. I think I bring a unique perspective potentially to the board. I'm a small business owner here in Davidson County. I live in Davidson County, and I work in the construction industry. I've been a licensed contractor in the state of Tennessee for 7 years, since 2016. And we've done a lot of projects, mostly in Nashville. I'd say 95% of our projects are in Nashville, in Davidson County. We've done historic preservation projects. We've done affordable housing projects. We're working on a 114-unit affordable housing community right now, actually, that's going to wrap up next spring, which we're really excited about. But I think that with my experience in construction, I've dealt with pretty much every department at Metro that touches real estate construction. Codes, the fire department, stormwater, Metro Water, NDOT. The list goes on. And I think that the IDB needs somebody that has seen the whole process of, especially when talking about affordable housing, that has gone through the process from the very beginning and through the entire process of actually closing it out and handing over the keys. I'm here to tell you that it's not just a financial issue in terms of why there is not as much affordable housing being developed as we'd like. There's a lot of issues that require stakeholders from all of those different departments that I just mentioned. And I feel like I have a unique experience in that I've worked with all of them, and I can get everybody on the same page, get everybody, at the same table and say, hey, we all have a common goal here. Let's sit down and figure this out.
Great, thank you so much. Councilmember Coopin.
So part of one of my goals as a council member was to make sure that people that may not know about boards and commissions know about them and have opportunities to serve. And so Andrew heard through my email blast or Twitter post about the board. And like you mentioned, small business owner working in the affordable housing space, working in the small business space. I'm just really excited that he put his name forward. I warned him there was a lot of people for the seat. There were incumbents coming for the seat. And he said, you know what, I really want to serve my community. I really want to serve the people of Nashville, and so I'm going to put my name forward. So appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. So I have a couple of questions. So you mainly do commercial construction?
That's correct.
Okay. So one of several of the issues that we see going on with projects, not only in the public sector, but in the private sector, we see a lot of wage theft going on. We see a lot of subcontractors not being paid on time. We see fraudulent checks. We see not enough training for the workers that are on the sites. The apprenticeship programs, I'm sorry? OSHA violations, apprenticeship programs not being pushed or certain ones being pushed and not union-based ones being pushed. And so with all that being said, what do you see your role being, right? Because we're happy to have more contractors, and what we want are good guy contractors and not bad actors. We want someone who's willing to work with Metro and to make things better, so we could set a standard for Metro, but also in the private sector. So what do you see your role being when it comes to that?
That's a great question, and I think you hit the nail on the head. So, I think that the industry has gotten a bad rap, specifically in Nashville, for some of the things that has been going on for the last, 5-10 years with the explosion in construction and development. I really think that people were coming out of the woodwork saying, oh yeah, I can do this and I can do that, and they really weren't qualified at all. So I know personally, in terms of our business, we have a full-time safety program. We go through OSHA training, and our staff goes through OSHA training. We have meetings on the job sites with our subcontractors and make sure that everybody is very clear on what the expectations are in terms of PPE, working safely, those kind of things. And I truly think that, the state has actually done some good things there. I think there's still work to do, but especially in terms of the apprenticeship programs that are being offered in community college, stuff like that, for people to realize that you can actually make a really good living going into the trades, and you don't necessarily need a college degree. And so that's something that I've been very passionate about, and we're actually working with an apprentice right now who's gone through the program and is looking to do a co-op with a construction company. So that's definitely something that I'm very passionate about and is very, very needed.
All right, well, I appreciate, your willingness to work with, having higher standards. I'll say this because I can't resist myself. The state has done a poor job when it comes to workers. And when we tried to do something last term to set a specific standard for Metro, they went and preempted us at the state. And hopefully with your help, if you were appointed to this board, you could help us, make some headways and make sure that the state is not only doing stuff for contractors, but for workers as well, as you have stated that you want to do within your own company. So I do appreciate that. Any questions from committee members? All right, can I get a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 6 in favor, 0 again. All right, last one. Well, last board. There's 2 of you. There's 2 of you. All right. Transportation Licensing Commission, election to fill 1 vacancy for a term expiring October 2025. First up is Carrie Rogers, nominated by Councilmember Benedict. Mr. Rogers, thank you so much for being here. Do you need a parking validation?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Do you currently live in Davidson County?
Yes, I do.
Do you serve on any other boards and commissions?
No.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to serve.
I've been on the commission for about 5 years, filled out a term, and then was appointed by Mayor Briley and reappointed by Mayor Cooper. I've lived in Nashville for 39 years and moved to Inglewood because it was cheap. That's changed. But I'm committed to the neighborhood. When we first moved there, my wife and I were the youngest couple. Today, that's not true anymore. But as I said, we're committed to the neighborhood. 20 years ago, I was appointed to the commission by Bill Purcell when he was mayor. At that time, the commission dealt with taxis and wreckers. Today, it deals with just about every kind of for-hire business, mostly downtown. Party buses, entertainment vehicles. Not party, I'm not supposed to call them that. Golf carts, scooters, the gamut of it. It's been a challenge, but it's also been fascinating to see all of that happening in this community. I spent 30 years as a bureaucrat in state government, so learned a lot about laws and rules and bureaucracy. So I think I bring that kind of experience to the commission. I also have a particular interest in walking and biking, and the commission's in charge of the contract for the scooter companies, and is also supposed to include some bike share. The last administration wasn't as enthusiastic about bike share as I am. So as you can guess, I'm quite hopeful that the new administration will roll out some bikes.
I heard he's a biker.
Yes. We bike to vote during the campaign. So I bring that kind of perspective to the commission. We have 9 members. We've got a little of everything, a contractor,
truck company operator, a couple of lawyers, of course.
We're everywhere.
But you know, they stay in their place. No, actually, they're actually very helpful. Occasionally we have to deal with criminal records, and we actually have a criminal defense attorney who can tell us what it says. So that's very useful. So I've enjoyed the time on the commission. I do think I brought those particular talents to it. You know, when I was appointed the second time, Billy Fields called me up and said, I need a bicycle guy. And I'm not sure exactly what that means even today. But I think he was talking about the need to deal with the scooters. And, you know, we heard lots of complaints about those things, of course. But last year there were 1 million rides on scooters. Think about that. And so, for better or for worse, they're here. They are part of multimodal transportation, and so, as I said, part of my interest is increasing that kind of opportunity for people to get out of their cars.
All right. Thank you so much. Councilmember Benedict.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Carrie, for being here, and thank you, Carrie, for your work over the past 5 years. He really said about everything I was going to say, because what he's doing is exactly what he said. So from licensing, you know, wreckers and taxi cabs, all the day in and day out of the job is important, and he's good at that. But he also brings this a lens about the multimodal transportation that we need in this city, and the licensing that's going to be required for us to take that to the next level. So 4 years ago, looked around the city and you saw scooters everywhere. So he mentioned scooters a second ago. When I say everything he said, like, he touched on the most important things I think that he's been a part of, which, you know, if you look at our sidewalks today, there are still scooters, but they're not everywhere. We have corrals in different places. It's much safer. They're regulated now, and that's what the TLC did, and Carrie was a big part of that. Transportainment, of course, was, you know, we're seeing some regulations around that. Carrie's sitting here very long in a Rules Committee, and it's not unlike him to sit very long in a TLC committee when the transportainment companies came up, and we put a lot of regulations around that. What I think Carrie didn't touch on that I find a huge asset of his are the questions that he asks on the committee. He challenges, and he really is trying to see where should we be going in the city when we talk about the type of vehicles, the type of, you know, whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels, what are we putting on our streets, and how is that equitable for all Nashvillians? Whether it's tourists, whether it's residents, he's using a lens that is thinking about all Nashvillians, and he asks those important questions on the committee, or on the commission. So I hope that you'll support him. He has my unwavering support. He's a huge asset in the neighborhood at Inglewood, is involved in very many things, and an avid cyclist, of course, as well.
All right, thank you, Councilmember. Any questions from committee?
I forgot to to tell you about one thing, my educational background. I went to the best university in the country, the University of Arkansas. I'm fishing for votes.
Well, you got Terry. Councilmember Bo, I'm sorry.
I've got a quick question, and it might require some nuance, but do you have a position on the presence of autonomous vehicles in Nashville?
We have been preempted by the state on that particular issue. I'm really, I think what Emily was saying, I'm skeptical of lots of things, and that includes autonomous vehicles, especially what I've read about the experience in San Francisco. I don't know if you kept up with that. So unfortunately, I'm not sure we can do a lot about it. Although I have read some things that some of the activists in Frisco have done. We won't necessarily be doing those kind of things.
Well, maybe.
So yeah, I'm skeptical, but I'm just not sure what we can do, thanks to our friends up on the Hill.
Friends.
Cheers.
All right.
I got one.
Go ahead.
You mentioned entertainment vehicles, and near the beginning of the term and near the end of the term last term, we worked on some legislation, passed some legislation. Some of it gave the TLC authority to set some rules, and then late in the term we passed some legislation about quantity, I guess, or setting a cap.
Yeah.
Do you feel like we, both the council and the TLC, are in a good place where it comes to regulating entertainment vehicles, or do we still have a little or a lot of work to do?
You know, a big part of the problem is not just the number, but it's the behavior on the vehicles, and it's like the scooters. How many are out there at any one time? When we first started, we had a 7-hour meeting to deal with 150 permit applications. We got it down. Today, I think we're at 90. When you pass those 3 bills, you pass 3 different bills trying to get it right. I'll remind you of that. Half of them are tour buses, like Gray Line. And I don't think anybody's partying on a Gray Line. So, although you never know. So we've had to, you know, there's a nuance to it. We've had to look at those differently than we have, let's face it, they're party buses. That's what they are, and tractors. So, you know, Ms. Alarcon is very concerned about traffic downtown, and so is everybody. And they've done a very extensive study of the impact of these vehicles on traffic. We've taken them out of rush hour traffic. They can't operate from 4 to 6. I'm trying to not get in trouble here. I'm skeptical about exactly what impact will be. You know, they did a study, you know, the traffic engineers did a model, and they looked at the impact of 10 vehicles at one time and the impact of up to 90 vehicles, the total we have. And so my question to them was, how many are actually out there at one time? Well, nobody knows. So I really think we need more data before we need to start reducing the numbers. I do think we need to reduce it by treating each group differently.
If I could follow up. Oh, sure. Going back a term, there were, at the end of the previous term, in 2019, I think, or maybe 18, there was some legislation that for pedal taverns, not the motorized, but for pedal taverns, there were boundaries set, geographic boundaries. Do you think that's something we should look at for? I don't think we have for the more motorized. Is that
we
something
have a
we
little
should
bit.
look at?
I'm not sure we're, you know, of course we depend upon NDOT for staffing, and you know it sounds easy to put a boundary around them, but that means they're not going some places, but we're sending them to other neighborhoods. And as I'm sure the councilman can say, downtown is a neighborhood. I don't work down here and I don't live down here, so I try to listen to the members of the board that are from his district. I don't necessarily do exactly what they want, as I'm sure they tell you, but I've tried to keep all that in mind. And you know, the impact is not just those vehicles, it's the pedal taverns, the pedicabs, the golf carts. It's really all combined that we need to be looking at it in a global way. And I try to keep that in mind, but we regulate them separately. I know for one, I think I can't speak for the other members of the commission, but there aren't going to be any additional vehicles added, I'm pretty sure.
Not even hot tubs?
They went away, so I don't know where they were. That's one of the few that wasn't successful. And I have to admit, I think of pedicabs as bicycles, so I sort of have a soft spot for pedicabs. They really have to work hard. So it's complicated. I guess that's what I'm saying. And I think we've done a really good job. We have 2 7-hour meetings dealing with those things. So I'm not looking forward to any more of those. But I can tell you the people in this commission take it very seriously. And I think that's a challenge that no other city in the world has had. Has anybody else got entertainment vehicles? I don't think so. So we're sort of, breaking the ice here. Sorry for the long answer.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? All right, and I think Mr. Ryan Burning has been withdrawn.
Yes.
All right. So,
Motion to adjourn.
no, we got one more thing. Sorry, guys, bear with us. We have one more thing, which is our rules, and adoption of our rules. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the email sent by Director Darby regarding the rules. Are there anything else, Director Darby, that we need to look at or consider?
No, I sent last week a kind of a large package of information to you with the proposed rules, a red line comparison version of the current rules versus the proposed rules, as well as a red line version of changes that had been made since the last meeting. So, and then kind of a line-by-line description of everything in that latest turn of rules. So I think that was everything that went out.
Is there anything else that we might have missed? I took a look at it, everything was what we had.
Her proposed amendment?
Councilmember Coopin has withdrawn it. Okay. Anything else? All right, do we need to take a vote on that for recommendation, Director Garvey? All right, can I get a motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 5 in favor, 0 against. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you for meeting with us.